Hi everyone, my name is Richard O'Brien and I am a South African entrepreneur and software engineer. I'm here to talk to you about my experiences with the Investec Startup School. For those of you who don't know what the Investec Startup School is, it is a 12-week online entrepreneurial program with 8 weeks of one-on-one mentorship, and at the end of the 12 weeks, an opportunity to pitch your business and business ideas to prominent investors. This week is week 2, which we have just finished off, and it was all about problems, identification of problems and solving of those problems. We started off looking at global grand challenges. Now the Singularity University has identified 12 global grand challenges, and they believe that through the exponential growth of technology that we are able to address these challenges. Now these challenges include resource needs such as energy, the environment, food, shelter, space as in the universe, and water, as well as societal needs such as disaster resilience, governance, health, education, prosperity, and security. Just looking at food, in terms of food security, by 2050 it is estimated that 9 billion people will need to be fed. That's a 60% greater demand than we have today. So these are very important challenges, and if you want to get involved in addressing some of these challenges, you can look at Singularity University. I'll post some of the links below. We then looked at inclusive innovation. Now, inclusive innovation is about developing products or services for people that are excluded from the development mainstream. An interesting concept coming out of India is an engineering field called Gandhian Engineering, which is essentially a paradigm that follows getting more from less for more. So it's about extracting more value from something less. So extracting a lot of value for someone but only putting a small amount of money in, or only charging a small amount of money. And because you do this, you're able to affect more people. So it's getting more from less for more. And I'll put some examples of Gandhian engineering feats in the description below, but some of them include very affordable cars as well as prosthetics. I think there was a $25 prosthetic versus $20,000 prosthetic. Now there are 6 levels of inclusive innovation, all of which have varying degrees of inclusivity. It starts with level 1, which is more about having good intentions of creating an idea or innovating to solve a problem that an excluded group of people have, all the way up to level 4, which is actually involving that group of people in the development of the solution, and it goes even higher after that. We then looked at a concept called biomimicry. Now biomimicry is about imitating biological designs and processes and applying them to innovation and engineering. So these are solutions that are already found in nature, and you just take them and apply them to technological concepts. Now, I've been thinking about biomimicry quite a bit, and what does biomimicry mean in the sense of supplementing the environmental damage that we have already caused? So, for example, mechanical bees used to help pollination of plants. We are looking at the design or process that exists in the environment and helping to rejuvenate the environment through invention. Is this biomimicry? Maybe you can tell me in the comments below if you have any ideas. So then we looked at problem-solving methods and how to get more of a critical thinking mindset. My favorite method that I picked out here for you, which I'm going to share with you, is called framing. Now, framing is about interrogating a problem on various levels, leading creative thought through a particular process, or examining a problem from different angles. So I've got an example here for you quickly, and it is all about risk framing. I'm going to give you two choices. You can have a sure gain of 1,000 Rand. 1,000 Rand in your pocket immediately, versus a 50% chance to gain 2,000 Rand and a 50% chance to gain absolutely nothing. Now give this some thought. Which one would you pick? Now, someone has come along and given you 2,000 Rand and given you two choices. A sure loss of 1,000 Rand, or a 50% chance to lose all of that 2,000 Rand, or a 50% chance to lose nothing. Which one would you pick? Decide now. Now, if you haven't realized already, a sure loss of 1,000 Rand when you have 2,000 Rand in your pocket is the exact same as a sure gain of 1,000 Rand from nothing. At the end of the day, you have 1,000 Rand in your pocket. But what happens if I were to tell you that 93% choose a sure gain over taking a chance, and only 33% will go for a sure loss? Now that's risk framing. Both of them are exactly the same, but the choice is vastly different. We then went on to a concept called design thinking. And we actually had to do an activity where we went through the whole design thinking process and applied it to our business. So the design thinking process has 5 steps, which is empathy or empathizing in step 1, where you develop a deep understanding of the problem that you have identified or the people that are experiencing that problem. Then you define your idea, so you converge on a smaller concept. You clearly articulate your problem that you want to solve. Then you start ideating. Now, ideating is expanding the solution space. You want to find out as many ideas as possible to solve this problem. Now, there's many methods in all of these steps, particularly in ideation, because you want to focus on different areas in the solution space, and framing is very important for that, because you're looking at the problem from different angles, as well as adding restrictions or constraints so that you can say, oh, the solution must be worth more than X, or it must have a physical appearance, or it must fit into this space or not fit into this space. By framing and adding constraints, you can focus on different areas of that solution space and start generating as many ideas as possible. Now, in the ideation phase, you can identify solutions that are not necessarily possible or may even seem completely crazy, but you go wild here. Then it comes the prototype phase. Now, this is the first of 2 phases that involve experimentation. So after you've evaluated your solutions that you've come up with in the ideation phase, you design a prototype or series of prototypes to test part or the entirety of your solution. Now, this phase is very important. The prototype doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, you want it to get out to your users as quick as possible, because the next phase is testing, and that's putting your prototype in the hands of the users and using empathy once more to find out their experiences of your prototype. Now, you go into this phase with the assumption that the prototype that you have developed is completely wrong, and find out why. So you keep asking those questions. Why? Develop a tight feedback loop and feed this back into your prototype. Improve your prototype and then retest it. Now, these are great methods. It's a great design thinking flow, and I really enjoyed getting involved in this and applying it to my business. However, we were only given a week, and to go through the empathy stage of the design thinking process and actually talking to people that are experiencing the problem is quite difficult. So we had to make a few assumptions, and unfortunately a lot of those assumptions are based on my own possible misconceptions or preconceived ideas. So I think this process or this exercise would have been much better if I applied it over a longer period of time, which I still might do because I found it quite valuable. So that was my experience with week 2 of the Startup School by Investec. I will post a whole bunch of links in the description below. Please comment if you feel like you have anything to talk about, or give me a like if you have liked this video. I'll see you next week in week 3. Cheers everyone.